Okay, guys, I'll be doing a recap here in a minute. Bear with me. I'm gonna have to be careful and clean up these redundant streams. I had 2 false starts today, which is pretty impressive to have 2 of them. So let's make sure the stream is even public. We do incognito tab. Is this stream even viewable? Not sure that it is. All right, we're good. We're good. The stream is actually listed online. Incredible. Yeah, I had a fun time with the go live button quickly switching to end broadcast as soon as I clicked it twice, which at that point is definitely a me issue. Anyways, so as a recap, we had a previous 3.5-hour stream in which I finished this building, which was very much unfinished before I worked on it yesterday. Now, one thing I'm noticing is there's a little bit of a missing piece here, I think. I don't like how this is sticking through the wall, so we'll fix that here in a second. Now, I recall I put these 3 guys in the air to indicate that this overhang was not done. I'm going to move them over here to remind me to finish that part. So, what do we need to fix today? My ambitions for this map. Originally, I just wanted to fix the lighting, and the worst spot, I'm one of the only competitive-ish, like not, one of the best players, but relatively skilled player. One of the only players who plays at a moderately high level who has shadows turned on, and that's mostly because, to be honest, I prefer the game to look good, but also it helps if I record or stream gameplay. It's nice if the game doesn't look terrible, which I think it really does look significantly worse with shadows turned off. But, this area in particular is just not playable with the default lighting bake that this map has in native. So we're going to fix that, and this area is also really bad. I think those are by far the worst areas. But now I've already fixed this spawn. This barn is now fully finished. Could use a couple of maybe some minor decorations, but it's basically done. So I have to add some light to this respawn and make the spawns shielded, move them into this building. And this room is not utilized, but it could easily be used for a shielded spawn. Just needs to have 2 exits and a big window. I'm going to get in some natural light by raising this roof and putting some big windows. That'll give a lot of light to this spawn. And then, what else? So I think fixing this will be a very quick fix. This building will be easy to change. I might want to give this room a couple of decorations. Besides that, I will be fixing any obvious blemishes. I need to finish this door on this tavern, which is now a respawn. It also needs a one-way exit. It currently has a singular one-way exit, but it needs to have 2 one-way exits. So, yeah. Now that I think about it, this barrier should probably be complete. Like that. Now you can't hop over it by getting on the edge of the table, which I think would be difficult to do, but not necessarily impossible with the previous setup there. So yeah, I think there was a kind of a visual bug right here. I want to change that. Now, is there a reason that it's there for the interior? I think there kind of is, isn't there? Okay, I see. it's still there. Let's rotate that. All right, we'll move that off the edge of the building. And the obvious visual problem there is fixed. I think the piece of wood in transition, this change would be nice right here. Especially if it's not visible on the outside. It's not. All right, good. Same thing here. This transition piece will just look nicer. I think that's an improvement. Let's make it a little bit wider on this side. All right, good. And any other obvious visual problems with this building? I did think that the you can kind of tell that this overhang is like tilted. Let's prove that theory. So this piece of wood is completely flat. So is there a tilt to this building? It's slightly lower on this side for some reason. It must be... I don't know what to call that, but there was some sort of issue there originally. Now it's kind of level. I was looking around at the map, and I could just tell. I did do a test run of this map, and it does actually work right now. I can load it on a server, and it does not crash right away. So I've confirmed that the map is, at least at this point, not yet broken. Speaking of which, I should probably increment the server, the map file. I'm going to increment from 11 to 12. So Fief Town, Outskirts, Remaster, 12. I have tested the version 11, and it is functional. So I'm going to back that up, make sure I have a copy saved separately. Because my experience with the scene editor is one of just extreme instability and unreliability. I do not trust it very much. So, yeah. Alright, I think this is looking pretty much done. We'll look for any obvious issues. Does this look weird? Yeah, at certain angles. It's kind of where, like, is somebody going to see it? I mean, I think that looks a little bit weird, but not a huge problem, honestly. One way to make that less of a jarring transition is just add another piece right here. And then rotate it down. Change the angle. Make it smaller. Rotate it down. It's going to help, like, look more normal now. It won't look like it's sticking out from the walls much, even though it actually is the same amount. I don't know if I like this piece is kind of... Yeah, this is better, I think. Looks more normal. It's a little bit too square. No, it doesn't. What if I... That's a good idea. If I rotate it diagonally, it will look less square now. Down a little bit. Why is that sticking out so far? It just needs a small thing to attach it there, maybe. I'm not sure what I want there. Hmm. Kind of ties it together now. Although it's protruding really far out here. It's not really way around that. The harsh corner. I have an idea on that. If I merge it right at the edge. Man, how do I get this thing to... Maybe a flat piece would work out really well here, actually. Kind of pulls everything together. I think that's adequate. It's definitely hard to make those vines kind of naturally overflow over sharp corners like that. So I'll just leave that as is, I think, for now. It's decent. Okay. Up this doorway. I want a piece of wood here. Left side. That works. I think that works. All right. Now for the doorway. What do we do? I think it definitely needs a thicker piece of wood at the triangular thing here. Okay. I think it's okay. It would be kind of nice to have a similar piece that we have over here. It's a tiny window, maybe. Can't really shoot through it, but you can see through it a little bit. I don't know if that would be appreciated by people, to be honest. Plus, it's going to give you maybe too much insight into how weirdly thick this wall is, which doesn't really make sense, to be honest. Let's try it. Everybody's now gonna wonder, why is this wall like twice as thick as a castle wall? I don't have a reason for that, but deal with it. All right. I don't know what I'm gonna put on top of this wall here. Maybe, I don't know. I could extend a balcony out here, actually. Put a doorway. But I already finished the window, so it'll be a problem. It's definitely an idea. Would that look cool? I think it would kind of look cool, wouldn't it? Have some like weird poaching. I really don't want to make this because it's going to take a lot of effort, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to do this. I should start by removing the window. Man, it's got just so much stuff in the way. Would that door look okay to have a door right there? I guess it could kind of work. Right? I do like that window, and it provides a lot of symmetry, but I think that could look cool though, and I don't have anything else to put there. Um, I'm gonna skip it for now. What else can I put there though? I don't know. Like, why would you make a wall like this, even in the first place? You could have the world's thinnest building. Oh. I could just cover it with wood, I guess. But why would it be there? It's a pun. Alright, so... I still can't think of a logical reason to have this giant wall here. But I need to put something on top of it. I'm gonna put a tiny little triangular roof on it. Start with. Roof. What about this thing? It doesn't really fit, does it? Hmm. It would look less bizarre as a elevated patio deck thing if there was a protrusion like over this area like this. Although that would make the building look less cool even further. It would obscure most of the building that way. I'm not a fan of that idea. I could try to extend the building to have a good lawn hallway along this wall, which would be really unnecessary and kind of weird and kind of interesting, though. Maybe. To even have a door that goes all the way through here. Not sure if I want to do that. Hmm. Would that look weird if it was extended further that way? Probably would. It's going to obscure a lot of the building. They put it there. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that idea. Um, well, what do I do with that wall? I don't know. I can't really remove it without completely nerfing this archer spot, which, I mean, I don't play archer, so I don't care that much, but I think other people would not appreciate that change, so, especially with it being so close to a spawn, it should be kind of overpowered as a spot. What do we do about that? I might just give up and come back to it later when I have more inspiration for now. But I still need to finish this door exit, but I guess I'll come back to it. I'll work on something I have a much better idea of what I want to do for it, which is this spot right here. parts, but I'll protrude this up so I can see how to align it. Alright, and then let's add some giant windows. Alright, so what do I want to have for windows here? Alright, can I rotate these individually? I don't want it to look like it's rotating on itself, to be honest. Is that really the effect original? Okay, I guess it did kind of have a bit of an edge there. Let's redo that to be less angled in on itself. Alright. Let's see what we can do here. Let's get rid of these giant walls. Alright, so for windows, what do I want to have? Maybe like a thinner thing, or maybe a chunkier piece of wood like this would work. Maybe not as chunky. Alright, so that's just about person height. In fact, you could almost about shoot over that if I don't have any obstacles in the way. Alright. So, what do I want to have for windows? Let's extend these out. Okay. I think it's missing something. It's like a transition piece of wood. Maybe not that one. Okay. Kind of like that. I think I wonder if an archway would look really good there. Could be annoying to make if I don't have any triangular. Do I have any triangular pieces to use here? Let's see. I have these pieces to use for kind of an arch. But, not really what I wanted. Mm, you kind of get away with using this for a triangular piece. It wouldn't look really natural, to be honest. What do I do about that? Do I have any, let's use these pieces, I guess. I wonder what a mesh bender would do to that piece. Makes it look like garbage. I can't use that. All right. What do we do about this? I think I have an idea on this. Do here. So, do I have any tiny versions of this I can use? I'll kind of bury it inside of another object. You don't really see it. All right, and then from here, if I make a bunch of tinier hash patterns, would that work? Maybe even making it a hexagon might work. I think these pieces need to be taller by a hair. Maybe lower here. Like the third piece. I think that looks kind of interesting. Sudden huge lag in the scene editor. Let's see if it will go away. There you go. More lag, it's nice. It'll be interesting to have corners solid pieces. This. I don't know if I like that or not. I think it definitely needs to be in the middle part. It's going to be the corners like that. Oh, it looks too symmetrical like this. What if I rotate some of these? That looks better. I think copy that wall over. What is this piece? What is that? Decal? Oh, it's decal. Get rid of the wall. Select this piece. This piece. And this piece. And then we have the whole window or the whole wall selected. We'll call this the tag for the farm spawn wall 1. You just narrow that up slightly. I'm liking that wall. It's now maybe too open, but I don't know. I don't think you could shoot through it that easily. It would be difficult to do. Provide some extra light through. Do I replace this wall? I don't see a reason not to. Well, then that obligates me to replace these as well. Which, I don't really want to, but I might as well. Okay. I'm going to save here. Let's see. Alright, well, I'm gonna queue up for skirmish here, so I might be ending this stream here momentarily. Got a match to play here in a minute. Alright. Let's see. Let's fix this piece here. Alright, well, I have a skirmish match starting right now, so I'm gonna end this stream and go play some cav, hopefully.